You see, I do a lot of documentaries, and I tell the story with a very special, lively camera. When we have color, we have interviews with Andreas Marquardt and Marion Erdmann in this film. But to contrast this, I wanted to find another form language, and we were fortunate enough in getting RBB making available the large studio at Theodor-Heuss-Platz in Berlin to us, allowing us to work very calmly in a very focused way with our actors. There's a lot of retroactive projection into the past, which we're doing in black and white with a static camera, no zooms, nothing, everything is static. And we have props which we put in that studio, and the actors could do their acting with these props, and of course that engenders greater intensity also in the way we work with the actors, much better than if every 3 days we'd have been in another apartment with a lot of bother and annoyance. Let me add to that, because the role is a very courageous one. It's brave to do this. I mean, after all, that character is not somebody who engenders sympathy. We hate that woman, we're shocked, we're horrified at what she's doing. How did you get the courage to play that role? This really strong character. Well, basically, I am an actress, first and all. I've started to make people cry or laugh, to reach out to them, to touch them, and to tell them about important stories. So this was tremendous for me, because abuse, pedophilia by women, and men, little men, children, it's something which is very rarely talked about, and that was one of the things that made me want to act this. I thought it was important to talk about this, that is not an individual case. There are lots of women who act like this, especially mothers who commit such acts, and you always ask yourself, how is this possible? I'm telling you, you know, the kid won't possibly manage to get it up, but there are lots and lots of ways of sexually abusing a child, and that's what we tried to show. And this is also the story of Andy, who told earlier that he was so moved by some of the scenes, and I hope very much that I've acted that role in such a way that I could show it in such a way that the audience understands very clearly that this is something that we have to act against, that we need to prevent for our children. But of course, it's extremely tough for Andy to see it back on the screen, as he also said a moment ago. Perhaps another question to you, Andy. When we see you the way you are, even in the film, with your charm and your temperament and the way you are now, I mean, you're somebody who everybody likes you. You create a lot of sympathy for everything. I can find it so hard to believe, even though I know so much about you and your past. I just can't imagine what you were like then. I mean, all the terrible things that you've done to other men and women. I mean, I was always afraid when I was a director. I said, you know, let's hope the old Andy doesn't come to the fore again, and the guy doesn't turn aggressive. There was one situation in the preliminary work. There was a script that read Young Andy, his first love, and the script writer had written with gel in his hair. And Andy really flipped the lid, and I thought, that's it, old Andy is coming to the fore. Now we're all going to find ourselves beaten up because there's no way. Gelled hair, I never had gelled hair. That was the only moment where I thought, perhaps that's what he was like way back. I think primarily this gel thing, which Rosa mentioned. I didn't want to ask my friend Hannah to have to spell with active with gelled hair. No, it was that was a bit of a joke. But seriously, I mean, I hated some people. I really had hated. I mean, my father, for example, when you think about it, he wanted to kill me when I was 3/4 years old. He put water all over me and put me on the balcony in December. I got pneumonia, fought my way back to life, spent 6 months in hospital. And when I was just about 6 years old, he actually squeezed my ranta, and I shouted, I screamed, I had pain, I peed myself, I still see his face, how he took me down and said, Andy, come on, squeeze your hand, you're a boy, you must have strength. And my bones were actually creaking. So everything was twisted, and my bones, it was all awful. And my parents, my mother, grandpa, pulled him back, and I left the room immediately. And I hid under a sofa, held my hand, and was trembling with pain, and I screamed really loudly. I never forget that whole thing in my life. And my mother, how often she abused me, all the things that happened. I mean, let's put it this way, the book has been made readable. They had to change a few things, because it was a lot worse than it's written in the book what my my mother done to me? What would she hurt me? And it's all in my mind. I will never forget it throughout my whole life. I wake up in the night, I can hear her voice, I can even smell her scent again, I can even start crying, I scream when I sleep, and I go to the next room so my partner doesn't wake up and switch on the telly. I think, I mean, yes, a screw is loose, definitely. But I think I was actually normal, only I played a role. And I played that role to such excess, this brutality, that I noticed people are afraid of me. Women are afraid. Men are afraid of me. What I did to them. How they sort of cut out from me. I liked it. And making money with this. I mean, when you think about that in a month, you can, well, on the top of my head, you can earn, well, let's just say a lot of money with such shit. I made millions. And I hurt a lot of people. And today I really regret that very deeply. Also women. I would apologize to every single woman I hurt. I mean, I think they're glad to not see me at all anymore. And today I can only say that these women have found a partner, a nice guy, somebody may love them. I hope that they're married, have children of their own, and can forget what I did to them and what I had done to all the people. I don't know what it's going to be like tonight with this film, without I really managed to watch the whole film to the end. But I always say I'm a fighter, I'll try to do it. But I also got some hankies with me. I mean, Hanno's next to me, we've seen the film together, and he was very nice in the way he looked after me, like a real brother, and I don't forget that. I mean, for me, Hanno has become a real friend. And if he ever has a problem, of anything wrong with him, he can always come to me. I'll help him as much as I can. The whole team was really, I mean, they were fantastically correct. And the film is tough, it really is. And I'll try to persevere and endure it, and then also to face up to questions, and I'm facing up to your questions, but honestly, it's not easy for me to watch it. I'm a tough bastard myself, that's for sure, but that film is tough. It really is hard. And inside I'm really upset, even now when I'm talking to you. For example, when I do readings with Mr. Lemke, when we go to prisons or all other places, usually the day before I don't manage to sleep, and then the day after I don't sleep either. I take all sorts of herbal medicines to calm down again, but I want to sensitize people to that subject, to that issue. That's why I face up to it, because you can't just say things in the public and then take a step back and say, you know, no, leave me alone. This is sort of my karma, it's my fate, I do this. I teach something like 100 kids every day, almost 300 kids come to my gym, and I love them all, every single one of them, because I think we as adults have a duty. When kids are supposed to take over society, we need to look after them first, and we need to do it properly. And as long as I've got a drop of blood in my body, I will always fight for children. Our world is pretty broken. There's hunger, there's misery, there's brutality, there is child labor. And as long as children are abused and misused, I'll fight for them as much as I can.